Accessory dwelling units, also known as ADUs, are coming to Asbury Park. Now, you might have seen these in other parts of the country so far, but New Jersey hasn't quite got on the trend just yet. This might start to change as we see this unfold for us. So whether you're a homeowner looking to add value to their property, a seasoned investor looking to add to their portfolio, or just want to know more about what's going on in the Asbury Park market, stick around because I got just a video for you. Because today we're going to cover everything you need to know about these ADUs and how you can take advantage of them with the benefits. Before we get into the video though, if it is your first time to the channel, my name is Steve McCutcheon and I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway. And on the Live in Central Jersey channel, we cover everything related to the Central Jersey real estate market. So if you're the first one to know what's going on in Monmouth or Ocean County real estate, feel free to click the bell, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this video started. And the first thing we want to cover is what an ADU actually is. In a sense, it's a smaller, independent residential unit on the same lot as a primary home. So you think of it as a single family home, then off to the side, you're going to have either a garage conversion, a pool house, a cottage, something along those lines. Now, the reason Asbury Park wants to do this is basically they have an affordable housing shortage in a sense, right? They want to get more rentals out there into the community. Right now, the list, I guess, is built up pretty big, but they also want to do this in a smart way where we're not going to have a bunch of illegal dwellings popping up everywhere. So there are going to be some rules to it. And you can't be building all these ADUs willy-nilly. There are some zoning laws to it. So anything that's going to be rezoned as residential or business, so R1, R2, R3, or Business District B will be allowed to have an ADU on the premise. They will have to be owner occupied though, so you have to live in the single family home to be able to rent out or have someone else live in the ADU. They are allowed to if you're a single family, two family, but as soon as you get the three families, you then cannot have an ADU on the premise. So at most, you're going to see 3 units on these type of lots. And they can be rented out, which we'll get to a little bit later in the video because there are some benefits to doing so. Getting into some of the lot sizes, now these ADUs can't be more than 3 feet to the rear of the property or 5 feet from any side. So they can't be just basically directly on someone else's property in a sense. They have to be 2 stories and they can't be bigger than the actual single family homes. You're not going to see these gigantic apartment buildings basically inside someone's backyard. They can only be in the backyard. They cannot be in the front. And you're going to talk about it has to have independent living situation. So you're, a kitchen, some cooking area that's separate from the main primary residence, and bathroom, etc., that kind of thing. And then last, you're going to have to provide parking if there is a shared driveway. That is possible if it's big enough, or you'll have to provide parking in a separate way or building another driveway in a sense. Again, another exception is going to be to this. We'll get to that in just a second too. The process to build one of these ADUs is actually going to be pretty similar to if you're making an addition to your home or any type of major construction you're going to be doing. So you're going to have a professional designer come in and lay out the entire spot and make sure that it's going to fit all the zoning laws or requirements that we just met, on top of some other ones too, like the water and sewer lines, for instance. Now, that's not going to be the only thing you have to do. You're going to have to submit an application to the planning board and construction office, so this way they can get on top of those, and then afterwards, after you're accepted and that gets approved, you can then go get your zoning and construction permit. So that's pretty much a rough estimate on what you have to do, but if you want a full description of the requirements that we've talked about in just the zoning process we just did, go on the Asbury Park website and feel free. They're going to have everything listed out on the PDF file, and it goes line by line. You might get a little bored reading it, but it has all the information you're going to need. How about all those exceptions and benefits we keep talking about? Well, let's get down into it. So Asbury Park, like we said, has a affordable housing issue currently on hand. They have too many people and not enough units for them. So if you're going to be renting out your ADU to an affordable housing tenant, you actually have quite a few different benefits you can gain from it. So the first one being that they will actually pay for the construction, or at least give you a grant for some portion of the construction on the property. If you have a moderate income affordable housing tenant, you get $20,000. If you have a low income tenant, it's going to be $30,000, and a very low income will get you $35,000. So that's going to help, I guess, just space out or at least take away some of the costs for this construction. It might not be all of it. It might be a good portion. I don't know. I'm not in that business, so I couldn't really tell you, but at least you're going to get something. That will be done in stages, though, so you're not going to get all of it right up front. You will be done broken down to 4 different stages, pretty much about basically every 25% of the way, and then you get the other portion of that money. Then this actually wouldn't have to be your primary residence. You can rent out the single family portion, and you can also rent out the ADU if it's an affordable housing tenant going into it. You won't have to provide parking, so we kind of mentioned that before with the shared driveway. This wouldn't be needed if there's an affordable housing tenant in there. And then, a smaller one on this end, you got some zoning and permit fees that you're going to incur upon the building of this. Those will get waived again if you take an affordable housing tenant. So those are just some kind of the benefits to it. It's going to be a little bit cheaper for you rather than just building it yourself and having a family member live there. So overall, I think it's some pretty good benefits to doing so. And it being that we are a real estate channel that covers the Monmouth and Ocean County markets, How will this affect necessarily the Asbury Park market in general? Well, I think it opens up a phenomenal opportunity for your typical first-time home buyer. I don't think it's any hidden fact that, first single-family home prices here in Monmouth County are getting pretty ridiculous in the price ranges and a little bit unobtainable for your average first-time buyer. Well, there are parts of Asbury Park that are going to be much cheaper than other parts of Monmouth County. Granted, will it be necessarily the best area? Probably not, but that doesn't mean the town can't turn around pretty fast with something like this. It's going to allow first-time home buyers to get into a single-family house, potentially rent out an ADU unit, and on top of that, they'll be paying a portion of that mortgage. So it's going to be cheaper overall for the first-time buyer, plus their home value is going to go up because of this added income expense that's going to be on the property. So I think that's a great spot. Will it fix the housing shortage? Not necessarily. Is it a start? Definitely in the right direction. But more importantly, it's going to get a lot more rentals into the market over in Asbury that are going to be at least more affordable on that aspect. So that's pretty good in my opinion. I like to tell clients too, like I get people reaching out for rentals all the time as well. And sometimes I tell them it's almost harder to find a rental than it is necessarily a single family home or a house in general here in our market right now. So I think these are all positive steps forward, but I would love to hear your comments in this comment section down below, just what you think is going to happen with the Asbury Park market with the added ADUs going into it. And if you're someone that's possibly thinking about selling or just wants a free home evaluation done, love to help you out in that aspect too and get that over to you. I have all my contact information down below in the description or the comments. So call, text, email, whatever works best for you, and love to get that over to you. Have a great day.